Hi. Hey everybody, welcome to Knock Knock Hi with the Glaucomfleckens. Here we have Lady Glaucomflecken, Kristen Flannery.
That's right, and you are Dr. Glaucomflecken, Will Flannery.
Thank you for joining us for an episode of Glauc Talk, where the Glaucs talk.
We are talking.
This is the beginning of the medical calendar just flipped over.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought today we could just talk about intern year.
Oh.
All
Okay.
about my intern year.
Well, I don't have a ton to contribute to that.
Yeah, actually, I think you do.
Try.
So, this is the time of year when something kind of irritating happens on social media.
Oh, yes, I know what you're going to say. Mm-hmm.
where you have people who know better, who try to make people like scared about going to the hospital in July.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, please keep in mind, like there are brand new doctors who are smart and capable.
That's right.
And also have attendings who are very vigilant and are
watching them closely.
Are backing up those new interns, and they get their feet under them pretty quickly.
Yeah. If anything, it's the safest time to go to the hospital because
think
everybody's paying a lot of attention.
Yeah. I'll tell you, later on in the year, you don't want to go. No, it's just not so true.
Go to the hospital anytime you need to.
But July is not any different than any other month. It's just, it's fine. I think teaching hospitals are probably the best place to get your medical care anyway, because one thing you're going to have is those interns who are taught to like maintain eye contact.
Uh-huh. Are they? Is that a core competency now?
Like sit down when they talk to someone in the hospital. Actually ask open-ended questions.
Okay.
Listen, active listening.
Yes, I like that.
These are all things that get beaten out of us over time.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, you learn that in med school.
Yeah.
So it's fresh for them.
Absolutely. We had a class in med school. It's called On Doctoring.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like just stuff like that.
Right.
Like because if you don't practice it, if you don't practice like looking someone in the eye and like active listening, and I mean, it's hard for some people.
I remember, you know what I remember about On Doctoring?
On Doctoring
is I remember you ridiculing it for the most part. No, I think it has, because it wasn't like the hard science medical stuff, right? So some of you felt it was a waste of time. But
it was
over time and with age and patient experience, I think you have come to see
you're not supposed to call me out on stuff like that.
I will always call you out on stuff like that.
Actually, I don't think it was me. You may have heard it from some of my classmates because I actually really liked my On Doctoring group.
Okay.
I think what you are talking about is my preceptor.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was just specific to it.
Because we had like a small group of students and someone who was leading us in that small group where we would do that to like practice exam techniques and things.
Yeah.
But then part of On Doctoring was also I had to go and meet up with a preceptor.
Yeah.
Who is
hopefully not listening to this right now.
I doubt it. But I was like the last person to get admitted to the class.
Yeah, you were the class runt.
So I actually didn't have an On Doctoring preceptor when I started.
Yeah.
They had to scramble and find somebody. So I got the kind of bottom of the barrel in terms of people who were interested in having a student
having
follow
like a
them around
mentor
everywhere.
situation.
So
it
was a forced mentorship situation, which tells you about how well it went. But I did like my small group of students.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the point is, like, July is a fun time and anxiety provoking time for the interns.
Yeah.
But it's still safe. It's still safe.
Is.
But it got me thinking about my intern year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote down a list of stories
that
I could tell about my intern year, just to give people a taste of what it was like for me. They can compare their own experience.
What I remember most about your intern year, since I was not at the hospital, is just your transportation.
Right.
It was planes, trains, and automobiles to get you to work and back every day.
So just give people a little context of like what we were doing intern. Like what was our life situation? Intern?
Well, so we had a 1-year-old.
How old were we
at the time? How old were we?
Yeah, I can't because I can't remember.
I don't know, like 27-ish, 27, 28.
Yeah, I guess that's about right.
So we had a 1-year-old, and you had matched in Chicago.
At my top choice.
That's right.
Because I had 2 different matches.
Yes.
So for ophthalmology back then, now it's combined.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they don't do 2 different ones. I matched at Iowa for ophthalmology, and then 2 months later, I did a separate match just for my intern year.
Right. So the regular match that everyone else did for you, that was just for your intern year. Yeah. That's what you were matching. But you matched in Chicago. My parents at the time lived, like an hour outside of Chicago?
Hour and 10 minutes.
Like the very last suburb before you get to farmland. That's where they lived.
Yeah, that's right.
So
it's called a place called McHenry, Illinois.
That's right. If you're familiar with the Chicago area, you know how far
Illinois.
that is from downtown.
Yes.
So we were living there because it saved us on some rent, obviously.
A lot of rent. We didn't pay rent.
For an entire year.
Yeah.
And then...
with a 1-year-old, that was huge.
Yes. And you're an intern, and I was... an adjunct at a community college that year, because what are you going to do for just a year?
I've never seen someone work so hard for so little pay.
It's like $2 an hour when you factor everything in.
You were adjunct faculty at a community college, and you had to put all the whole coursework together yourself.
I had to build a whole course and teach the whole course and grade and,
And I would say probably not worth the amount of time. You probably should just
when it's worth it a little more. I mean, adjuncts it's not unsimilar to interns and residents in terms of how they are treated within the workplace. Mm-hmm. But it would have paid off if I was able to use that course again.
Oh, yeah.
If you use that every year, then, it's not as much work.
Not be stricken by overwhelming anxiety that there's going to be a campus intruder.
I was not on my anxiety medication at that time. So I always was convinced that I was going to die every time I went into work. So that's a different story. But I digress.
Somehow I didn't click for me that maybe at that point you had an anxiety disorder that you needed medication
for. This is the thing,
for.
Anytime something has happened, you have been completely surprised, as have I. Why is it that the people that are living it
why do we have no insight?
Do not recognize it.
Insight into our own psychological issues.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, my psychology is perfect, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do have some insight into yours.
Have insight. So you were doing adjunct.
Anyway, so we were living way out there with a 1-year-old, and my parents were helping out with all that, and it was lovely and great, except for your commute.
Oh man, it was rough. So I drove. I was driving a Honda Element, RIP. I don't make those anymore. I love that car.
I know this is the biggest area of disagreement in our marriage.
I cried when I lost that car.
I hated that car. I cheered.
You could hose out the seats.
Yeah,
it was great.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
And had stadium seating. It was great. I don't know.
It was not great for getting a rear-facing car seat in and out.
Sure, they don't make them like they used to, though. Mm-hmm. It was like a little toaster. And anyway, so I drove my toaster from our house in McHenry to the train station in Crystal Lake.
Yeah, which is what,
It was about 20. It was a 22-minute drive.
Okay. Oh.
I did this every day for a year.
Yeah, you got memorized.
I still
stuck around.
So 22. I took the. I want to say it was the 702 or something like that. 702 train out of Crystal Lake. Mm-hmm. And so that means I had to get up pretty freaking early every day. And no, it was earlier than that. It was like a 602. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it sucked so much, because I was waking up literally at 5:15 every day for a whole year. And I'm sure there's gonna be people out there who care that.
Remember, guys,
I've been doing
he's
that
an
for my whole career.
ophthalmologist.
At heart, I am an ophthalmologist. So you got to understand that, okay? But anyway, about 5:15, I drive to the train station. 6 o'clock, I'd get on the train. And it was always the same people.
Yeah.
There's like a little ecosystem,
community.
Community of train goers. Everybody would always sit in the same place. Yeah. And
it's the same when I go to the gym because I go at the same time every day.
Yep,
they'd have
their little conversations. Of course, I was not participating.
Human interaction.
I was like, actually,
6 a.m.
You would have been proud of me because on that train, which was about 52-minute train ride,
approximately 52 minutes.
I would take the train from Crystal Lake in toward downtown Chicago, get off at Norwood Park. So it's about 50 or so minutes. But during that train ride, I would often read journal articles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that was back when we're fresh from med school.
Oh, I was eager. I was like, I'm going to be the best intern I possibly can be. Yeah. That was my goal. It's amazing how life changes over time as that kind of that kind of enthusiasm just
for you, I feel like it's positively correlated with the amount of anxiety for like performance anxiety. Like people are watching you and grading you and paying attention.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna be.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a lot of anxiety about a lot of anxiety about that, and that pushes you to work hard.
A healthy amount of anxiety because it does push me, and I can perform.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy.
I think it's healthy because I can perform. It doesn't keep me from performing.
I performed. I taught that class every single day.
Did you see your reviews?
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, except for the ones where say for some reason she kept cowering underneath her desk.
I did not.
Every few minutes.
It's not nice to make fun of people with their mental health illnesses.
So anyway, I'm reading my little journal articles at like 6:30 in the morning. It still drives me like I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, like who are you?
Anyway, once I got to the train station, it was
Norwood Park.
It was about a mile and a half from the hospital, which was Resurrection Medical Center.
So at this point, you have now had a 22-minute drive.
Yeah.
A 52-minute train ride.
Yes, that's right.
And you still have a mile and a half to go.
This is how our grandparents used to get to school.
Yes.
Every day. And then I had a bike, a $50 Schwinn bike that was too small for me, but it was the cheapest thing I could find. That I kept at the bike rack at the train station. And so I'd get on the bike and then I'd ride a mile and a half to the hospital.
Yes.
And then I'd do the reverse all the way back.
Yep. How long was that bike ride? How long did that take you?
Oh, it was a mile and a half. So it didn't take me long. It was like a 10-minute bike ride.
And how was it when it was the middle of winter?
Oh, not great. Yeah. Well, see, I was not real familiar with Chicago winters, and I was familiar with snow, but the wind, the cold.
There were
wind.
A lot of what were those called? Polar vortex. Is that what it was?
we had some polar vortices.
It was very cold that winter,
and so but. Over the course of the year...
We do sound so old. It was so cold that winter, and we had to ride our bike to...
Over the course of a year, that shitty Schwinn $50 bike slowly broke.
Of course.
Like a brake on one side would stop working. Eventually, I had no brakes on it. At one time, I think it got so cold, one of the pedals snapped off.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to figure out how to pedal with one pedal by the end of it.
Because heaven forbid you just get another bike.
And I think like the reflectors had frozen off and were knocked off or something. I did, the tires miraculously stayed, good. Like I didn't have to replace the tires. Yeah. I would have just probably ridden it on one tire anyway, and just anyway. By the end, it was so beat up by the end of that year that my last day, I went to the bike rack. I rode my bike to the bike rack
to get on the train,
and I just left it.
Yeah, didn't lock it up.
No, I was like maybe somebody. I didn't take it with me. Maybe someone
would like to melt this down.
Yeah, exactly. Harvest it for parts. It's got a decent frame. It's a Schwinn. I don't know. So anyway, that was my commute, but it was totally worth it because we saved a good amount of money. And I did have to buy the train ticket every month. I remember it was like $200. It was a lot, yeah. It was like a $200 like train ticket per month.
Yeah, and an intern year, that is a ton of money.
They were very diligent about checking that too. So I never got they never accidentally. I was always hoping that they would like just accidentally skip me.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't. It was a punch card. I was hoping they would like accidentally.
Did you ever try to like put your white coat on to see if maybe that would
God,
earn
no.
you some
No,
trust or something?
No, I never had my white coat with me on the train. That would have.
That's right. I forgot how you have a
No,
phobia about that.
I will never wear a white coat outside unless I'm recording a video, of course.
Right.
So how did that year go? Other than obviously you were working, but do you remember just me like working long hours? Or
Yeah,
you're
I hardly saw you that year. Like
Yeah.
you had to leave so early that I don't think I was even awake yet by the time you were
Right.
gone. And then you got
I wouldn't get
back
home till like 7.
like 7, yeah. And then you had to wake up early so you'd go to bed early.
Yeah.
And then you might have like some learning to do before you went to bed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not a lot.
that was another reason it was great that we were living with my parents, because obviously living in that area for only a year, like we didn't know anyone.
Yep.
And if we hadn't been living there, then I would have just been alone in an apartment with our child all day, every day for a whole year.
Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
So I have some stories though about intern year. Some of which you know, some of them you probably have never heard before.
Yeah.
So I thought we could just go through some of those.
All
Let's
right.
take a break. We'll come back with some stories.
What you doing there, buddy?
I'm so glad you asked.
Oh.
I'm being a Demodex.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, that's what they sound like.
Those little mites?
If you put a microphone in front of them, I'm sure they would probably, most likely, maybe sound like that.
You think so?
I don't really know.
Oh, well, let's see how much you do really know.
Oh, you're going to quiz me?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What are the only 2 main species of Demodex mites found in humans?
Type 1 and type 2.
Close. Demodex folliculorum, which are found in the eyelash follicles,
Okay.
and Demodex brevis, which are found in the meibomian glands.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, next one. Next question.
Okay. Why do people with Demodex blepharitis often feel itchy eyelids first thing in the morning?
I know this, and because they avoid light and come out at night to mate.
Oh.
Yeah, they're mating on your eyelids while you're sleeping.
Super.
How does that make you feel?
So gross.
And so people wake up with that itchy, irritated feeling because they've been moving around in the eyelash follicles all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
I'm surprised you even brought that up.
I know. I'm just trying to get used to these mites since Demodex blepharitis is such a common disease and we keep talking about them.
And that's a big step. That's a big step.
Thank you.
There's a prescription eye drop, though, that's available for Demodex blepharitis. Did you know that?
Yes.
To learn more about these mites and Demodex blepharitis, visit miteslovelids.com for more info. Again, that's miteslovelids.com to learn more. This ad is brought to you by Tarsus Pharmaceuticals. Kristen, I got to tell you about a new podcast that every clinician should know about.
Ooh, tell me.
This is the Sepsis Spectrum.
Okay.
It's by the Sepsis Alliance and critical care educator Nicole Kupchik. This is really important. Each episode is about confronting blind spots in sepsis and antimicrobial resistance education. A lot of this stuff usually doesn't make it into textbooks or compliance training.
That's weird because it's super important.
Yeah, everybody needs to know about this stuff. You can listen to the Sepsis Spectrum wherever you get your podcast or watch it on the Sepsis Alliance's YouTube channel. To learn about how you can earn free nursing CE credits just by listening, visit sepsispodcast.org. All right, my first intern story,
Okay.
I think is one you know. I got to preface this by saying the hospital I was at, Resurrection Medical Center, it was known nationally by all the people who were looking for transitional year residencies.
Right, because you didn't have a typical intern
It was not
year.
a typical intern year. It was what's called a transitional year. It was like a special intern year just for people in different specialties that have to do like a separate intern year. So ophthalmology, dermatology, radiology. I think there's probably a couple other ones. Anesthesiology was another.
Of course, all the ones. The road to success.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's right.
Specialties.
I just named all the road specialties. So anyway, all of those applicants, they did a transitional year, and now it's changed a lot. But everybody, we all knew what the best transitional years were around the country.
And what do you mean by best? I don't think you mean most rigorous. Yeah.
It was the cushiest years.
Yes.
And on that list was Resurrection Medical Center.
Hence why it was your first choice.
So excited to match at Res. We called it Club Res.
Yeah.
We called it Club Res. But there were a couple of rotations that were legitimately very, very challenging.
Yeah.
The one of them was the critical care rotation, ICU rotation. So this was the feared rotation because this is a smaller community hospital. They had a medical ICU and a surgical ICU that were kind of connected. And you had to do 4 nights over the course of your month on ICU.
Okay.
4 nights. But whenever it was nighttime, you were the only physician on the floor in that ICU.
I feel bad for whoever got that rotation first.
I was early.
Yeah.
I wasn't first, but I was very early, very green still.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, this was very unsafe. Like it was not like
This is not the July you're talking. You are contradicting yourself, sir.
Oh, and okay. Well, I'm not saying that I was incompetent. I was just saying, like, to put that much on one intern
Yeah.
that early on, it's probably not the best thing. Now, there was backup. So there was somewhere in the hospital, there was a fellow. There was like a critical care fellow. They were somewhere.
Yeah.
Actually, never saw that person.
Probably in the call room. Did you ever check?
Well, fortunately, I didn't have to, have them. But the thing is, the fellow was not always there. So they were there sometimes.
Okay. And
but
they
some
didn't let
nights-
you know what the fellow's schedule was, whether they'd be there for you or not?
No, of course not. I was the last person to know anything. So when there wasn't a fellow in-house, then there was an attending I could call on the phone.
Okay.
But they were not in-house.
And they could not visibly see anything? Or was there
Right.
like a camera situation?
So there was a camera situation. That's a separate thing.
Oh.
So there's an attending that we worked with who was, we knew the guy. We knew who that was. So we'd call them for any admission that came in. But there was like a backup to that backup system, which was a virtual monitoring ICU. Like this is before COVID. This is like pre-Zoom.
I don't think even Zoom was, it was like Skype in its early days.
So basically, this is a thing that exists where you go into the ICU and there's a camera that's monitoring. They can see it's connected to like the machines. So they can see all the vital signs. They can see, and it was like they could talk to you.
Yeah.
So when they talked to you, it was like the voice of God.
Okay, just coming through a speaker.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the ceiling.
Yeah, it was like, listen to the heart. Or like the monitor started beeping. You walk in, like, do a respiratory exam. And it was the scariest thing. But so that was that was the attending in the room was like this voice in the corner. And on my first night, I had a patient who was very, very sick. And so as I was supposed to do with every admission that came in, I had to call the attending. So I go and I check out, see what, get my little, my oral presentation already, like what I was going to say and everything. So I go through the presentation with the attending on the phone. He says, okay, go ahead, start ECMO. So ECMO is like,
yes, sir.
Extra corporeal, like basically it's an external like heart and lungs system for people who I was like on like a mini version of ECMO a little bit.
No, you weren't.
I think. No.
No.
Well, they cooled my brain down. There's cooling involved. So anyway, ECMO is like an external circulatory system that oxygenates
they take all your blood out, oxygenate it externally, pump it back
and then pump it back in. And I like vaguely knew what ECMO was, but as soon as we got off the phone, I was like, okay, sir, yes, I'll make sure we get ECMO going. I walked into the physician workroom and I Googled what is ECMO.
God.
But
I would hate if you were that patient.
Okay. But we got it done because I talked to the pharmacist. I talked to
the nurses.
The nurses helped. Like it was a joint effort, and we took care of that patient, and they got great care and did fine.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like it was a little bit hairy there for a second, but we got through it. Here's the best part of the story, though. The next day, I had to stick around for morning rounds. So I've worked like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I have to stick around that day I had worked all day the previous day.
Oh, okay.
And then started nights.
So you're on like 36 hours.
That was like 20. It was like 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, I had to stay for rounds.
Yeah.
Which is an additional, and that's the most brutal rounds you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And so I stick around for rounds, and during those rounds, the attending, I remember this, he was the meanest attending we had for the ICU.
Is this the one that you would call on the phone?
No, this was a different one.
Okay.
This is the daytime attending.
Okay.
And then he asked me if I calculate for a certain patient. He asked me, I remember this vividly, did you calculate Winter's formula?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I didn't. And he just let me have it. I was just like, I was on like 28 hours, no sleep, just getting reamed out because I didn't do it, like a very specific calculation on something.
So after rounds, did you Google what is Winter's formula?
I knew about Winter's formula. It's just one of those, like, you're in the moment, you're like, I can't believe this is my life.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what this guy is slept all night.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the amount, like, just anger that was just underneath that I had to like put on a, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, I should have done this, in the middle of my ECMO patient.
Mm-hmm.
I should have, thought about this. And I was just trying to
make
sure.
As I was learning ECMO.
As I was trying to make sure
in real time.
that nobody in the ICU died, which, by the way, I was successful at. I
Thank
failed.
You, nurses.
I failed to figure out Winter's formula. So anyway, all right. Here's another story. I think you maybe remember this. Remember Soylent?
I sure do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so Kristen, we all know that Kristen's got this ARFID thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's always joked that she wishes there was something she could consume.
It's not a joke.
Okay, it's not a joke, but it's never going to happen.
No.
But she wishes there was something she could consume that had all of her necessary calories and nutrients in like a pill.
Yeah. I would even take an IV.
Right. That she could Kristen wants TPN. She wants IV nutrition so she wouldn't have to consume anything unless it's like Reese's or Oreos.
This is not a healthy thought. Okay.
No,
this is like, I
absolutely.
have a problem, and that is part of the problem.
And I've been living with you with this for much of our life now. And it got to the point where I was like started to research, like, what's the closest we could get to this?
Yeah.
Where it's like something that has no taste, that would satisfy, that would make you healthier. And so somehow I found this company that I think this was a fad, like brief, very brief
it was
fad.
Brief. For reasons that you'll probably share.
Of a company that made this powder that apparently had everything that all the human body needed.
Yes.
And you mix it with water.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, you just drink it.
Which, not a pill. That's not the same thing.
They called it Soylent. And I bought some, and I did it because I spent like some money on this thing. It was like,
it wasn't cheap.
Well, someone's got to use this. And so I started drinking it. It's the sulfur content was not quite what it should have been, I think.
Oh, no.
Because it's the GI distress.
Yeah.
Was distressing.
It was.
And it wasn't good. But in the marketing,
it didn't taste good.
In the marketing materials, it's so funny. I remember the video. You see, it's like geared toward like programmers, like tech programmers.
Yeah,
they're just typing away all day at their computer, just drinking Soylent.
Can't afford to get up and get something.
I swear, people. This was a thing for like 6 months. I feel like people were talking about this all-in-one.
People were excited about it.
Powder thing. And needless to say, Kristen was not, it did not catch her. You tried it. No.
I did. I tried about one taste of it, and that was enough.
It was tasteless. It did not have.
That's what you say.
A taste. I think it was the texture for you.
It had a taste.
A little chunky.
And the texture was disgusting. Yeah.
Soylent. But some of my co-interns, they found out I was doing this, and I was the butt of a lot of jokes for a while.
Rightly so. Your butt was also a joke for a while.
All right. Speaking of butts, I have another story.
Wonderful.
The first time I ever saw a butt case.
A butt case. Okay.
This is actually related. This is my general surgery rotation, and I didn't know what to expect. And do you know, like, whenever you're getting your butt operated on, usually it's like an anal fissure or some kind of like a hemorrhoid
or a testosterone placement.
No, that's different. That's different. That's in the clinic. This is in the operating room. You have it. You're put to sleep. You're like a TP.
Okay.
Like they position you. They have like a way to position you where
you're bum up in the air.
You are not. You are presented
face down, bum up.
Oh yeah. It is
Lordosis.
There. No. No. You're just like folded in half.
Okay.
It very much reassured me that general surgery was not for me. And I remember the residents, they all called them butt cases.
Mm-hmm.
As on top of that, the first time I had to go in and watch this, fortunately, like they didn't let me do anything. I don't, I was very, as a future
They knew you were
ophthalmologist-
going into
as a future
ophthalmology, yeah.
ophthalmologist, I was some rotations a little bit
They're
hands
like,
off.
you just
A
watch.
little bit hands off. Like, let me, I'm happy to, I'll hold a retractor or something. But, I don't need to, the suture I'm going to be using is like human hair. I don't need to, just let me.
There are no eyeballs
it's fine.
in the butt.
It's fine. I did what was asked of me, and I was a good intern. But, some rotations I did not go above and beyond, I
Sure.
will say.
Nor did they expect you to. They knew the deal.
or want me to.
Yeah.
But I vividly remember seeing the butt cases, and then they also had to, and so maybe some people listening to this can tell me exactly what I was being asked to do here. But in the post-op, for a patient that had a stoma, so it was like externalized, they had to have some of the part of their GI tract removed.
Mm-hmm.
They had a stoma that apparently was like gas was not escaping the stoma.
Okay.
So they tasked me with taking like this red, like a catheter and putting it, like inserting it into the stoma.
Ugh, that makes me want to pass out, but okay.
And I tried and I was unsuccessful. And then the senior resident found out that the junior resident had asked me to do that instead of doing it themselves, and they got in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I was not supposed to be the one that did that. So
yeah.
Those are the things I remember most about my general surgery rotation.
So you learned almost nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say that rotation helped me a lot in creating comedy around general surgery.
Yeah.
That along with my vascular surgery rotation during med school, my required surgery rotation.
Was that were you studying for a board exam? I can't remember, or a step exam maybe?
Yeah, step exam. You had step exams. Oh, that was great. I found one of the best things to do as like a med student on rotations, or even not so much as an intern because you're always working, but as a med student, you find places in the hospital where nobody else is. Like it's always empty, and you can always find this. These are like prime study spots, places you could just leave for a while and just read. And study for your self-exam. Like mine was like same day surgery area. Like there was like an extra like annex wing. They were like hospital bed. It was like almost very eerie.
Yeah.
It seemed like haunted kind of place. And there's also a bathroom there.
Oh, that's critical.
So important to find your own personal secret bathroom. And you try to hold on.
Especially if you're drinking Soylent.
And you got to try to hold on to that special bathroom as long as possible without anybody else knowing where it is. The minute someone finds your secret bathroom,
gotta find another one.
That's a bad day. You got to go on the hunt for another one. I got one more thing.
Okay.
See, we talked, you talked about the fact that I was working all the time, but there were a couple of rotations. Do you remember that we just left?
Yeah, I do.
So
there were some that were just so easy that your presence was not required.
So that's what made this Club Res. So I got...
It's ridiculous in retrospect.
It is. And by the way, just to let everybody know, it's not like this anymore.
No.
Okay, so don't go accusing Club Res. I doubt they call it Club Res anymore. Don't be accusing Resurrection Medical Center of not educating or not making their people work, because I think we ruined it for everyone.
Oh, you abused a system.
So we had two, you know what? Let's take one more break.
Okay.
And now is a good time for a break. I'll come back and tell you what we did. So I had 2 electives during that intern year. And pretty much everybody, if there was an ophthalmology elective, I probably would have done it. Because
well, yeah, that would make sense.
I would have liked to actually get some skills before starting, but there was no ophthalmology available. Yeah. Instead, what most of us did were 2 radiology electives. Now, the radiologists, it was a private practice group that worked at the hospital.
Okay.
They wanted nothing to do with us.
Okay.
They were just like, it was just, if we were there, they just worked and we could look over their shoulder. There was really no interaction. And so what we did would be is we would check in.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get our textbook. And then we would go away. Until the next rotation the following month.
Mm-hmm.
I only feel comfortable saying this now, 10 plus years later, because it's not like this anymore, everyone. Okay. I'm not proud of it, but we did get to spend a whole month in Houston, which is great.
In Houston because your family lives there.
Oh, yeah. But
which is why it was great.
The point is we left.
Yes.
We just left. And I did learn a little bit about chest x-rays. I read a couple pages of that book.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it was just a free month.
Yep.
Club res, everyone.
You got 2 of those.
I got 2 of them. So
wasn't that the year though? I feel like maybe one of those is when you did the Epic.
Yes. So I was going to say that, and that's the last story I have for you.
Okay.
Because one of during one of those months, I joined a company. And what their job
was. You
didn't
join the company. You got a little side gig.
A side gig, working as a contractor basically for this company, where I would go to a hospital that was going live with Epic.
Yes.
In this situation, it was Henry Ford Hospital. This back in
Detroit, right?
Yeah. So it was kind of the outskirts. It was like some of the smaller satellite hospitals, not like the main Henry Ford Hospital, but in the Detroit area. And I would go for a week at a time and work, like, honestly, grueling 12-hour days.
Yeah.
Teaching physicians in the early days of Epic.
Yeah.
How to use Epic. And
not just in the early days of Epic, right? It was the early days of EMRs, wasn't
it? This was like the big push that Epic was making to get just all the hospitals on Epic. So I would say EMRs existed and people were pretty familiar with them, but I don't know how much of the country was actually on an electronic medical record, maybe half.
Yeah.
So it was like Epic was a big deal at that point.
Yeah.
But I, having used Epic in med school, was very familiar with it. And so I was a super user for Epic.
Yeah. So what is that? What does a super user mean?
I was assigned to a unit, and I was just there in the middle of the work day, and just to help people figure out how to do like favorites, how to make order sets, how to
use Epic,
smart phrases, all these things. And let me tell you, that job sucked. That was rough. Like, imagine the most stressed out you've ever been in your life, and then double it.
Mm.
That's a doctor trying to work full time during an Epic go live. And they mostly took that frustration and anxiety and anger out on me.
Sure, you're the one sitting there making them use it.
It's my fault, everyone. I'm the intern. It's my fault. And I got yelled at. I actually, I think I drove somebody into retirement.
I was gonna say you need to tell that story.
I was working with an older cardiologist. He must have been retirement age, and in the middle of me teaching him how to do a discharge summary, order set, reconciliation thing, the whole discharge, he got up and walked away from me. And I thought he had used the bathroom or something. I don't know. He didn't come back. And so I went and did something else. And then the next day I asked, because he had been around a while, I was like, where's Dr. So-and-so? And they were like, oh, he retired. So I was so good
Yesterday.
at my job that someone decided they would rather retire than listen to me talk about Epic for one more second.
Did he even say anything as he got up and walked away? Or
No,
just...
but that was, I did that job though, because I had never made more money in my life.
Yeah, it paid very well. And
I remember
again,
how much,
like when you're an intern year.
Remember how much, do you remember? I remember how much
I don't
made.
remember anymore.
$75 an hour.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That was.
Yeah,
Like,
at that
was
time in our
huge.
life, that was an insane amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, I was like a research assistant in college. That was like
$13.
$15 an hour. Like I was pretty good. Then before that, it was Domino's.
Yeah. Minimum wage.
Yeah. So anyway, I was like, I would have let those things just slap me in the face for $75 an hour, which some of them really wanted to.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was intern year. It was fascinating year.
It really, in looking
highs
back,
and lows.
It was,
Highs
there's
and
a lot
lows.
of stories from that year.
And between all that, I had to transfer all my cancer care, and I had to find an oncologist for a year, and I had to get CT scans because that was just a year after, or a year and a half after I was initially diagnosed. So I had all the surveillance and stuff.
Right.
And so it's kind of wild.
It really was.
I'm so glad.
And we had a baby on top of all of that.
I know,
we had a 1-year-old.
I'm so glad they now it's just their combined programs, because
that
there's
makes
a
so much
lot
more
of
sense.
moving and traveling, and I wonder what happened to my Schwinn bicycle.
Yeah.
I would love to know what happened to that thing. Anyway, that's it for Glauc Talk.
All right.
I think I covered probably most of the big stories. There's probably a lot that I just kind of
we buried, repressed
blocked out.
Yeah.
I did some urgent care rotations. I did emergency medicine. Oh, I do remember they basically, there was no expectations. I took all the eye problems that came in, all of them. So overall, I made some friends.
You did.
We had a great little group.
Yeah, you guys really liked each other. It was fun.
Of very high-functioning, very intelligent people who just wanted to breeze through intern year as quickly as possible. But you can't blame us.
Well,
can't blame us.
You're just humans.
We're not gonna. This is part of the reason why they changed it to where you do a combined program, because ultimately it's just kind of a lost year.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, what's the point of all this?
It really did feel that way, and that's just So I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think that was also the year that we found out we were pregnant with our second child.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, at the very end.
Oh, okay. All
so
right. There you go.
That was a big year. Lots of things happened.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Let me know if you have any good stories from your intern year or your first year on the job, and whatever part of healthcare or first year Domino's work.
Any first year of a new job is intimidating.
I love those are fun stories.
Yeah.
So I've got some good stories from that year. Not even a whole year. The summer I worked at Domino's.
Yeah.
Let us know. Email us, knockknocki@human-content.com. You can visit us on our social media platforms. Hang out with us and the Human Content Podcast family on Instagram and TikTok @Human Content Pods. Thanks for all the great listeners leaving feedback and reviews. If you subscribe and comment on your favorite podcasting app, we'll give you a shout out on YouTube, actually. This is @Glaucomfleckens, the YouTube channel. Leave a comment. We love seeing those comments. We have @None on the Run. And YouTube said, "My dude, you made me cry just listening to you talk about the instances where you were crying." Yes.
Oh.
I did have an episode.
I know.
I talked about every time I cried. It's 3 or 4 that I can remember.
Did you tell the Marley and Me story?
No. Of course. Who wouldn't cry during Marley and Me?
At the end?
I was watching Homeward Bound the other day. I almost started crying.
Yeah.
It's the dog stuff. It gets
you.
It really does. I don't know if I've ever cried over Milo, though. I think a couple of farts were so bad. I really couldn't help myself. I
don't know if that's crying or just your eyes watering, when you're cutting an onion.
Reflex staring, noxious stimuli.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably it. Full video episodes are up every week on our YouTube channel @Glaucomfleckens. I also have a Patreon. Check that out. Lots of fun perks, bonus episodes, or react to medical shows and movies, early ad-free episode access, We also have these little interactive Q&A live stream events. We had tell jokes.
Those
we give
fun.
advice. We learn from each other. It's awesome. We also, patreon.com/Glauc. I was just jumping around here. Patreon.com/Glauc, or go to glaucandflecka.com. Speaking of Patreon community perks, let's shout out the Jonathans.
Let's do.
Patrick, Lucia C., Edward K., Marion W., Mr. Granddaddy, Caitlin C., Brianna L., Mary H., Keith G., Parker, Muhammad L., David H., Kaylee A., Gabe, Gary M., Eric B., Marlene S., Scott M., Kelsey M., Dr. Hoover, Sean M., Hawkeye MD, Bubbly Salt, and Shawnee D. Patreon roulette time. Random shout out to someone in the emergency medicine tier. Shout out to James S. Thanks, James, for being a patron. And thank you all for listening. We're your hosts, Will and Kristen Flannery, also known as the Glauc and Fleckens. Executive producers are Will Flannery, Kristen Flannery, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooke. Editor and engineer is Jason Portizo. Music is by Homer Benz V. To learn about Knock High's program disclaimer and ethics policy, submission verification, and licensing terms, HIPAA release terms, you can go to glaucandflecken.com and reach out to us, knocknockhi@human-content.com. I'll tell you all about it. Email me. I'll give you all the answers you want about submission verification and licensing terms. Let us know. Knock Knock High is a human content production.
Knock, knock, goodbye.
Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen, or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Help you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.